Hi, insight number 4 here. We're in section 87 for this one. Now, this is Christmas Day in 1832, and Joseph's mind is on anything but the Christmas Day. He's given this revelation just to share it, and it's quite intense when you think of the prophetical nature of it. We also want to link up Doctrine and Covenants 130, 12 to 13, because it comes back to this, and you can see that even back then, he was really against slavery. He's echoing the Lord on, being equal and equality and having the same rights for everybody. It's kind of beautiful, actually, that back then this is where Joseph was heading and this is where the church was going, and yet some really grievous errors over the years from different leaders and a whole lot of members around this topic. So if you're ever feeling kind of disenfranchised or on the fringe because of the color of your skin, which you should never be made to feel like that, and it sucks if you do, have a look at this, because it really is Joseph talking and saying, look, it's not okay. And he's really putting that out. It's not said word for word, but you can tell he if you know him, or if you get to know about him, you can see. But anyway, he's talking about appearances, troubles, and nations, and being more visible. And he gave this prophecy back then, some 30 years before anything even happened, which people carry this prophecy around in their pockets. It's called a prophecy in your pocket. This is pocket prophecy is what the section's often referred to, because people wrote this one down and carried it around. Parley P. Pratt actually carried it around for years and years and years, and used to teach it all the time. So quite exciting when it actually happened, although tragic because war, and also then exciting again because it actually really did help the saints in their move west up to Utah. It really helped a lot of those that had no funds to move. And it was quite a blessing in a way. There's a part of blessings that don't look like they're going to be blessings. Still tragic though, because a lot of people died, but it's what created the United States as we know it now. Kind of a hot mess. But anyway, I know I'm going to get some lovely comments over that one. Alright. Verse 1 of this says, Verily thus saith the Lord concerning the wars that will shortly come to pass, and this became the Civil War in the States. Beginning at the rebellion of South Carolina, which will eventually terminate in the death and misery of many souls. And that's very true. So more to the point of this, rather than getting into the whole west versus east and south and the north and the whatever else went on there, because I really don't know much about the Civil War, to be honest, in the States. I'm not American. I didn't learn the history. I know a little bit from TV, but that kind of ends there. So I don't really want to get into that, and my American friends probably will, and good on you, because you should know. However, what we're going to look at is really what prophecies have you seen become reality. Now, I'm a little bit older, so I've seen a few become reality. The people that were living then, if they lived another 30 years, they get to see that one become reality. Or their children would have known about it if they'd told their children. And prophecies are a funny thing because they happen in the Lord's time. They probably happen, maybe not with quite as much fizz and bang as you think they might. Some of them just sort of happen very organically, and then you don't realize it till you look back. So go look for some. If you can't think of any, then maybe write one down and start looking for it to happen, right? The ones I noted, though, these are interesting. Missionaries preaching in what were communist countries, because when I was young, no missionaries in Russia or any of those Eastern Bloc states. Nothing. And now they are. We're getting a temple in China, for heaven's sake. Come on. It's not happened yet, but, right, it's announced. How crazy is that? It's amazing crazy. So that would have never happened when I was a kid. And it was told, because we were told the gospel is going to fill the four corners of the earth. Missionaries will preach on every continent and every clime. And it's kind of happening. I can see it unfolding right before me. Now, it didn't happen all at once. And it wasn't with this great, firework display. It kind of very happened organically. As these countries changed and molded, then we already had a relationship with them as a church, and they let missionaries in. Now, it's not always the best relationship, and it can be a little tumultuous, especially for those missionaries in Russia, unfortunately. But they still do it, and they're there. Very cool. Having church at home. When I was young, the prophet Spencer W. Kimball, and I believe David O. McKay said it as well, probably some others, about learning the gospel enough so that you can teach it in your home, because the day will come when you will need to teach your families in the home. Now, that was said in various ways many, many times over about being prepared in all aspects, not just physically, but spiritually. Now, what happened? What do? We have Come Follow Me in the home. We have Sunday school every second Sunday if we get to go to church. The time will come when you will need to teach your family in the home the gospel. So, do you know it? Right? That happened. Temples flooding the earth. When I was a kid and we did gospel in action in primary, I think there was like 12 or 14 temples, and you could name them all. Now I wouldn't even, I look online for a temple and I'm just amazed at how many there are. It's beautiful to see that one. Access to church resources, because that was one that they said, the access to resources will become more abundant. And really what we were thinking back then when they said that was like, oh, cool, we're going to get more church books. Great, And it's not like that at all. The abundance of church resources that are online, the absolute, not just their social media accounts, but their websites, there's so much good information. And just the Gospel Library app, how amazing is that, everyone, right? So cool. Now, that was a prophecy way back that these kind of scriptures would be available to everyone. Everyone, not just church members, everyone. Cool, right? And right there. So, have a think, write ones down to look for. Carry one in your pocket, right? Have a pocket prophecy of your own to go looking for. Or think about which ones you're seeing come true as well. President Nelson, he said, these are the latter days, so none of us should be surprised when we see prophecy fulfilled. And that's it. We shouldn't be surprised. It happens very organically. It happens right there. And it's beautiful. So go look for some. That's your challenge for that one. All right, hang around. We're going to look at verse 8 of the same section. See you there.